with assistance from federal authorities where it's appropriate. Let me ask you and the other witnesses, Senator Hawley and I have proposed a framework which includes an independent oversight entity, a set of standards that would be imposed by that entity, a requirement for some licensing before models were deployed, testing to assure that they were safe and effective, just as the FDA reviews drugs to make sure they are safe and effective, and potentially penalties such as we've been discussing, as well as export controls to assure that our national security is protected. I'm assuming, just for the sake of speed, I'm assuming that all of you would agree that some kind of framework like that one makes sense.
I actually have specific thoughts on that framework. I think it's a good start, but I really think it's important that whatever framework we set adopts what's called a defense in-depth approach, right? So we need metadata, watermarking, cryptographic hashing, which is a little complicated, but it's invisible watermarks and a hash database, kind of like NCMEC, AI detection, and AI poisoning. It also needs to cover both the generative AI platforms and the online platforms. We need both of those folks. We can't just say license generative AI companies and leave it at that. Honestly, we need government buy-in, generative AI buy-in, platform buy-in, journalist buy-in, and then detection companies.
And all of those points are encompassed by our framework, particularly the watermarking.
Yeah, I really think watermarking is getting a lot of attention here, and it really doesn't solve that much of a problem. You need cryptographic hashing. Invisible watermarking. That's really important.
I wonder if we're there already, though. I mean, I'm looking at this article from the New York Times just a few days ago. The headline is "Teen Girls Confront an Epidemic of Deepfake Nudes in Schools." Now, I presume that these teenage boys didn't pay a lot of money in order to do this. In fact, the article goes on to say that they used widely available nudification apps to create these fake photos. So they take the photos of their classmates from Instagram or wherever, and use those, feed them into this app, and then here you are, and it probably costs them almost nothing. So I guess my question to you is, are we at the point now with this technology where we're going to see a flood of AI-generated CSAM, a flood of other sexually explicit material created of adults or young adults? I mean, is this the point that we're at now?
Really quick, a point on
Sure.
that. I think it's important to understand that for like a deep nude image, they're shared on like WhatsApp and things like that. Those are end-to-end encrypted. You can't detect that. It doesn't make any sense. To solve that specific deep nude, you need AI poisoning, which is part of the defense in depth. Anytime you upload an image to Instagram, you can poison it, so that if someone tries to deep nude it, it turns out as garbage. So specifically for deep nudes of like images posted to Instagram, AI poisoning is that solution.
We have laws that we're contemplating passing in this committee as well as in the larger committee, the full committee. But where does educating the public come into play? To let them know that as we are approaching, or we are already in an election situation, that they should expect to experience AI created audio, video, fake stuff. That where does educating the public to the fact that they will be subjected to all of this come into play to inoculate them against the impact of this kind of deep fake material?
I do think it's worth pointing out that deepfakes, image, audio, video, this is a new paradigm, right? It's a new reality. There is evidence from the University of Maryland School of Public Policy that when voters are informed about what policy looks like, there is wide bipartisan support for federal regulation. There just is, right? I believe it's 89% support across the board. And I can share that report with you if you're interested.
Thanks, Chairman. I just wanted to find out from each one of you if you think that there's a particularly good source, like, for instance, New Hampshire's Attorney General, or a particularly good article or analysis on where gaps are in the criminal law that should be plugged in order to deal with the problem of deliberate and malicious AI fakery Do fraud laws need to be adjusted? Does it need to become a RICO predicate? What are the, and I don't know, go ahead, Mr. Gupta, but also I'd like to hear from any of you, if you're not the expert, but you have somebody you know or admire or think does good work in this space, if you could let us know, because we're trying to
Yeah,
put it-
definitely. Again, this report from the University of Maryland School of Public Policy by Stephen Call, it's really in depth, and it talks about what the people think should be done, right? They actually take time to educate the people about certain policies and then poll them about should there be an independent federal organization? What kind of laws should exist? How extreme should those laws be? I'm not the expert. Legislators are the expert, but I fundamentally believe that legislators should be informed by the public's opinion. And so I would highly recommend that.
Would be one good place to look.
One more thing, Senator. I think it's really important that the United States military, the intelligence communities, are funded properly to help integrate this technology. Because if the U.S. government doesn't know what's real and what's fake, then we have a really big problem.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Senator
Chairman.
Whitehouse. Thank you.